Ooh, Adrian Bonner's coming back.
Yeah, I said that last week.
Yeah, February 20th on Showtime.
I love these guys who challenge each other. Mikey Garcia wants Terrence Crawford fight.
Ooh. Tiafomo says he's likely facing Devin Haney next.
Pacquiao says Spence is too slow, but is interested in fighting him. Oh, we're on. Oh, hey, good evening, Talking Fight fans. It's Friday night, and we've got a few of the panel member here. Derek is not joining us tonight, but I've got Mike, and I've got Christian, and I've got our special guest joining us, who's going to rotate his camera. There it is. There he goes.
He's in and out.
There's
Stick and
the
move. Stick
man.
and
There's
move.
the man.
He's weaving and he's bobbing. He's coming back. Is that a belt hanging in the background?
Damn straight it is. Yo, hold those belts up, King. Hold those belts up, King.
You already know it is.
Look at that.
That's it, baby. That's it. There they are. There they are.
Yeah.
There they are. That's it, man. It's
Whoa.
a king right there.
Wrapped in belts.
Here, that's that heavy metal, baby.
That's it, man.
Heavy
That's
metal.
it. Yo, that's why Pacquiao was ducking you, eh? That's why Manny Pacquiao was ducking you, bud. After you took out Eric Morales, you should have been fighting Pacquiao for sure.
Oh man, there we go. Awesome.
Can you see me?
Yeah, perfect.
Perfect.
Perfect. It works. It works.
Woo!
I can't see.
There we go. Technical difficulties sorted.
We can see you perfect.
Yeah, you're on perfectly.
You're on perfect, Raheem.
Okay, good.
Yes, man.
All right, Talking fans, we have got Zahir Raheem in the house. King Raheem, how you doing tonight?
Hey, man, I'm doing fantastic.
Awesome. Great to hear. Y'all excited for the Olympics coming up in Tokyo?
Oh, man, you know what I am.
It's enjoyable watching those boys go toe-to-toe.
Oh, definitely, man. Oh, yeah. I thoroughly enjoy it.
That's Soapy's just rebooting his iPhone.
Yeah, probably.
There it is.
There we go.
There we go. There we go. That's perfect.
Can you see us now? You can see us now?
Yeah.
All right.
The king, there he is. The king.
Yes,
You see
sir.
perfect. You see perfect. So how you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Living life. Training.
Living life.
my
Living life. Sitting pretty.
That's it.
That's it. You still training? You still training in this COVID times?
Yes, every day. I'm in the
That's
gym
good,
all
that's
day,
good.
man. All day. I got about 15 fighters.
Yeah. Any people that I need to be on the lookout for that I need to profile on my show?
Pretty soon.
Okay.
Pretty soon
Okay.
we got some fights coming up, and we're gonna. I like to just bubble until we blow. You know what I mean? I ain't gonna make no noise yet, cause when I start beating on my chest, we coming like gorillas. Ain't
Yes.
we coming. We
Yes.
coming. You hear me? I ain't gonna be passive. Nah. I ain't gonna say nothing right now.
So your guys fight just like you, eh? They got your same attitude, your same style, and everything, eh?
No, I'm not gonna say that, because when you get into the mastery of the art of boxing, everybody has their own personality. I cannot take a quiet, humble guy and make him fight like Mike Tyson. I can't take a guy like Mike Tyson with an aggressive attitude and make him fight like a Muhammad Ali. So I have to let everyone be who they are and just show them the basic fundamentals, the proper way.
That's
And
it.
you got some guys that want to move more than others, you know what I mean? But nah, I don't give them me. I let them think on their own. I can be the best me I can be. I can't be the best you.
That's it. That's it. True words right there. That's true. So
So we've talked to a few fighters. No, hold on, Mikey.
Yeah, go ahead.
Hold on, Mikey. I got a question to follow up on that there. We've talked to a few fighters now who have said that they really didn't get to come into their own style, like to get to be themselves boxing until they went pro. They were talking about, saying that when it's the amateur game, it's all based on speed and points, so they didn't really get to sink into their own style. So how do you develop your guys when they're amateurs and still let them kind of develop their own style when the focus is going to be mainly on points?
Well, think about this. It has nothing to do with style. It has everything to do with strategy. When you're in an amateurs,
Okay.
you only have 12 minutes to fight. You got to hurry up, get in there and fight. You can't sit back and think and pause. And the professionals, you got 45 minutes to fight. You can pick your shots. You can think a little bit. And the amateurs, you don't have time to think. It's not about style. It's about strategy. You got to be a quick thinker and a fast puncher in the amateurs to win, period. A fast thinker. If you want a slow thinker, but you got to be a hard puncher if you're a slow thinker. If you ain't, then probably better off in the amateur. I mean, in the pros.
Is it hard to train? Is it hard to train a guy to or transition from amateur to pro? Is it hard to get that out of their mentality, like to get them into the pro kind of mentality, like when they reach the end of their amateur career? Is that transition hard in the training? Does it take a long time for that to adapt?
Nah, most times the reason why it's not that hard to adapt for most fighters because most fighters, when they go from amateur to pros, it's almost a right of privilege. It's almost like, you know, somebody being in college and saying, okay, we're gonna send you to the NBA. You don't have, you know, it's not too much to change. You're excited, and when you're excited and your mind is focused on one thing for so long, man, it's easier to master it. It's just like studying in school. I mean, if you going to boxing and you just thinking about you want it for money, or you thinking about you want it for fame, it might not be for you, because all it's going to give you is pain. That's it. When you get in that gym, training doesn't start until you get tired. That's when it begins. So when I get guys, I don't care how good they are or how good they're not. What I test when I look at my guys to see if I want to train him or not, is I see how he responds to pain. You say, well, what's pain? I give him a hard 3 rounds on the mitts, a hard 3 rounds on the rope, and I put him in the bag. And when he ain't got nothing left, I see how he responds to it. That let me know if he's built for it. When I see him punching, and they punch until they just punching slow and giving everything they got, that's what I want. But those that punch and they're a bully when they strong, when they're not tired, oh yeah, they can give you everything. But once they get tired, they quit. Nah. It's not built for them. Boxing 90% mental. 80% of the fights that I won, I didn't win because I was better than my opponent. I won because I believed more. It's a difference, man. Boxing is 90% mental. Whatever you believe, so shall it be. Even if you're wrong.
It's like a game of chess.
Fast chess.
Yeah, yes. So, do you remember what it was like going from amateur to your first fight? I guess what was it? Cliff Watford was your first fight. Do you remember that feeling of being able to get in the ring and finally turn pro? And what did it feel like for you to do that?
It was a dream come true because I had never made $50,000 in my life, and I was in a dressing room with Oscar De La Hoya. So I couldn't focus on who I was fighting. I'm looking at Oscar like, man, I'm in a dressing room with the Golden Boy. That's all I can think. The nerves, none of that. And you know what? I think Cliff Waterford, he dropped me, I think, didn't he?
Yeah, I believe so.
No, technical knockout. You won that one on technical knockout.
Yeah, I put him down with a body shot. Yeah,
so yeah, you did win that one on technical knockout at the end.
That was Bally's Park,
in New Jersey.
Atlantic City. Yep.
Yeah, Atlantic City.
Yeah, Atlantic City, New Jersey.
Golden Boy. I don't know who he fought that night, man, but I never forget it.
That was your debut, man. That was awesome, actually. That was wicked. Graham, you got any questions, man? Ask away.
No. I'm busy doing some research right now. I'm making sure his fans know he's on live.
Oh yes, man, the king. Let's talk about the first belt win. Run us through the whole drive up to it, the training camp, right to the first time you put that belt on your waist.
It was. I mean, my first belt when I was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. I had a fight, man, in Philadelphia. Okay, I had a manager, Harry Cavella, may rest in peace, from New Jersey. He was my manager, great guy, and he had put some fights together. We put some fights in there and together in Philadelphia. He put one together, and not too many people came. So I packed my stuff up and went to Tulsa, Oklahoma with Tony Holden Promotions. Shout out to Holden Promotions in Tulsa, Oklahoma. So I moved out there with him, and guess what? I got a deal with the casino. The people love me. I was selling out this casino status, man, 5,000 people coming out. It was so good. I drove a helicopter to the ring at one of my fights. I hovered over top of the ring in a helicopter, literally on ESPN. So you talking about you don't want to come see me fight in Philly? Okay, I got to take the show on the road, and I ain't never been back. You know what I mean? But Philly is my town, though. It's a boxing hotbed. You know what I mean? But that's just my story of how my title came to be. Internet wasn't the social media wasn't like that when I was fighting. You know what I mean? It was a little different. It had just came out. I had to get mine, man. I remember going inside the magazines. What's the name of the magazines, man? TKO, Ringside. It wasn't in the internet. Everything was in magazines.
Yeah. I believe
if you made it
TKO
to
and the
the
Ringside was
magazines, you
big.
was big time. Yeah.
That's dope, man. That's wicked. What dope? Philadelphia has such a strong history in boxing. Like what is the fight scene like in Philadelphia? Like it's always been known as like a hot spot. Like the Rocky Balboa movies were based out of it and all that kind of stuff. Like what makes Philly such
I think
a
this is
strong...
what we were chatting about when we lost you the other day.
Yeah, I think it was.
Well, I'm gonna tell you. I don't know. Do you know Georgie Benton?
No, I don't think so.
Georgie Benton, one of my trainers. Look him up. Fred Jenkins. Look him up. And look at some of the guys they produce. You got to think. I went to the Olympics in '96. David Reed went to the Olympics in '96. Terrence Cawthon went to the Olympics in '96. We was all from Philadelphia. Two of us from the same gym. So you got to tell me when you talking about a trainer that knows what he's doing or doesn't know what he's doing. When you talking about a system that works. And when you're talking about boxing, man, the boxing hype in Philly is so rich that you got fighters that became like Bernard Hopkins. You might go to the gym, he in the gym helping someone, teaching them, giving that knowledge back. But when you go to Atlanta and you don't have no fighters there giving nothing back, but you got gyms open by people who wants to make money, not because they want to make champions, then the quality of boxers suffer.
Would you say that there's a Philly style of boxing?
Huh?
Would you say there's an actual like a Philly style?
There is.
Like, can you watch a boxer and go, no, he trained in Philly?
Yeah, it's called the hoagie.
It's called the cheesesteak. I gotta take my boy out there and get a cheesesteak, man. Golden Roger.
Yo, King, I gotta ask you the question, man. You're from Philly. Did you run the stairs, man? Did you run the classic staircase? Did you do it? Did you do it? Did you stand there? Did you stand there at the top and put your hands up? You did it? You did it? Yes.
Hey man, I did it once. Hey man, you got to admit it. Everybody did it.
It's a rough climb, man. It's a rough climb. Man, every time I watch those old Rocky movies and I see that, I'm like, damn.
Hey,
yeah,
those steps are a pilgrimage for boxers.
Very motivational.
Definitely.
So do you think Stallone actually ran those stairs in the movie, or did they just film him the last 10 steps? Stunt double to that point.
He ran those for sure.
And listen, he was in Philly. He learned how to fight before he left. I can promise you. He was in enough gyms.
If he didn't know before he got there.
Shoot.
I didn't realize that Sylvester Stallone actually had a management company, and he actually managed boxers for a while.
If I'm not mistaken, he might have managed. I could be wrong, but he might have managed Mickey O'Rourke.
Yeah, we were talking to the chap out in Vancouver last night, and he was saying that there's quite a few fighters that came out of like Sylvester Stallone invested in these guys and put money behind these guys, not as a promoter but as a manager. So put his money where his mouth is.
For sure.
Yeah, Manny Sobral. Manny Sobral out of Vancouver was telling us.
Oh.
Training guy. Anyway, sorry to interrupt.
No, hey. So, Olympic athlete and champ, and do you love the sport so much that you just had to start training? And you train people. Do you have your own gym? Is it your own club or?
I mean, I don't own it, but I own it.
That's it. You don't own it, but it's you.
It's all me. I'm at Buckhead Fight Club in Atlanta.
Okay.
I'm in there all day, man. I'm in there.
Any Olympians and anybody you think you have prospects for Olympics coming up?
Yeah, well, yeah. I got a kid, Ashton.
That's it, eh? Kid,
And I got Cam. I got a couple kids from I got a kid from Greece, a kid from Mexico, a kid from Ghana. Yeah, that's true story. True story.
Wow,
And
kid from Ghana.
I don't think I might got one kid from the States.
Your brother?
Graham and I were actually just talking about Ghana the other day. We've actually both been to Ghana a few years ago, and we were blown away that we didn't see more fighters coming out of Ghana. Partially just from side, just going down the street. Every guy we saw was jacked. Every guy we saw looked like he lived in the gym. Everywhere we went. No, it was mind blowing. It was intimidating almost. It was a little mind blowing. But everyone looked like they lived in the gym. We're surprised we don't see more fighters coming from that part of the world.
Let me ask you a question. You ever had any fights? Anybody? Street fights?
I fought.
Let me see you throw a jab. Throw a jab like that. Oh, okay. You can fight.
Yeah, man.
You can fight.
Hockey fights.
I trained for years, man. I used to box under Frank Bullard, Canadian pro.
Oh, okay.
I trained with him until I was 16, and then when I hit my late teens, 20s, I got into martial arts and I started doing Muay Thai and Brazilian Jiu Jitsu.
Okay. You want to start grabbing somebody and flipping them in the head?
No, man. I like elbowing and kneeing people in the face and shit. I mean, excuse my language. I like them elbows and knees, and I like swing kicking people in the face. So that's the way I went with it. But I'll tell you right now, my training with my boxing, I was my coach was very adamant on technique. Right, technique is always key, man. With technique comes power. That's what I was always taught.
But let me ask you this.
Yes.
Let me ask you one question. You said jiu-jitsu, right?
Yeah.
So if we got into a combat and you grab me, you know what I'm gonna do, right?
Oh yeah.
What?
Uppercut my face off.
Nope. I'm gonna bite you. What do they teach you how to defend that?
Do they call that the Tyson defense?
Yeah, we call that the Mike
Tyson. There you go.
Yeah, man. Oh, jeez. No, man. But that's what I was always taught, man. It's technique. Never sacrifice your technique, and with technique comes power.
That's very important.
It's very important. So, I use my boxing ability, and it really helped me out in my Muay Thai because when I'm throwing my fists, I'm throwing them nice and straight and accurate. Lots in this technique, I can land very easily, and I use my head movement from boxing to not get kicked in the face. So it did well for me. But I do miss boxing, man. I do miss getting in there and going toe to toe with somebody for a little bit, man. It's fun.
Yeah, what? And that's why I stay in the gym.
See, you know what? With this COVID thing, there's not really opportunities for me right now to get into a gym, man. Or else I'd be in there right now punching people out.
Yeah.
I will attest. I stand 6'1", and that guy can kick me in the face.
Who? What?
Yeah, man.
You may not believe. He's big, but he's flexible. Man. He's big, but he's flexible.
I'm a big guy, but I'm flexible, man. I did Muay Thai for years, right? So
I didn't believe him either until I almost caught the shoe right across the way. It was this far from my nose. I didn't believe him either.
I got to ask you one thing, Raheem, about your last year's career here that we talked about and all your championships. How angry were you that Manny kept ducking your ass after you beat Eric Morales? Let's be real. You hands down whooped Morales and should have fought Manny next.
I'm gonna tell you the worst part about it. I'm sorry. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I know Manny's that guy that's sometimes he's an age fighter. He's waiting for you to get past your age so he can beat you, or he likes to fight guys that just got knocked out their last fight, or likes to fight guys who fought a couple of months ago who haven't quite healed. So I think he was afraid of fighting such a fresh fighter because you whooped Morales quick, man. I watched that fight. You were all over him. You dusted him. There's no way Pacquiao should have fought him next. It should have been you. And I know that must have pissed you off, man. Honestly.
Not really. You know what pissed me off more? Is that both of them ran. Pacquiao want to fight me, and Morales want to give me a rematch.
Oh. Oh.
I'm like, yo, let me make some of that money. One of y'all. Listen, I tried to fight one of them last year.
yo, Manny, if you're watching, man, he's ready for a match anytime.
Listen, I had a couple of people try to put the fight on in Dubai with Manny. They said he was just out there with his wife buying a couple of properties, and they tried to put the fight on with him, man. And won't do it. But guess what? And respectfully speaking, I can't get mad at him because look where he's fighting. And I don't even think and it might be an exhibition for what, 20 million?
Yeah.
Come on. Who am I? Who am I to talk about that?
The politics is crazy in boxing, man. It's with all the different sanctioning bodies, it's hard to get the fights that you want. Did you find that in your career?
Not because of sanctioning bodies, but maybe because of the disagreements with promoters or managers.
So yeah, mostly the promoters and managers are the ones that put together the fights, obviously, right? So I guess there's a lot of politics, pure politics
at its best.
worse than running for government, right?
Thank you.
A lot of fans don't know that, man. A lot of fans don't know that the politics is really, I think they got to do something about it, man, because there could be a lot more fights, super fights happening, big money generating fights if the politics would just, ease back a little bit and let these promoters really put together the fights they want to put together, man. I think we'd be able to see some super fights in the future.
Well, that's true, but until boxing is probably monopolized, that's going to be difficult. You see what I'm saying? Because every promoter that has a fighter or a manager that has a fighter, they have an investment that they are protecting.
Right.
So people say, oh, man, but we want to see the fight. Yeah, you want to see the fight, but they protecting their investment, which is their income. And sometimes them making more money is not always best for the fans. Or what's best for the fans is not good for them. And that's why a lot of times you don't see them fights that we should see, like Earl Spence and Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, I don't know if we'll ever see that, right?
Or Ryan Garcia and even Gervonta Davis or Lopez. He fighting Pacquiao, and it's an exhibition. It's like, yo, give us more.
Garcia and Pacquiao. Like, what the hell's that about?
Give us more. Pacquiao should fight me. He won't fight Garcia. Garcia a cherry picker.
He is a cherry picker.
Cherry picker.
But he does have a pretty good record, man. We can't lie.
And I think Pacquiao gonna beat him, honestly.
You know what? I believe so. I believe it's going to take a legend to be able to hand him his first loss.
I can agree with you.
Yeah, I think it's going to take a legend to hand him his first loss because honestly, he's a bit cocky when he fights. When you watch him fight, because I've been tracking him for a while now. Because I'm watching all these amateur boxers that come out. I profile, I do one on my show every day at 4. And yeah, man, he's one of the guys that's on my radar. And he's his head's getting too big. You know what I mean? And somebody in boxing, you need that shot in the face to really put you sturdy again, man. Because he's getting a little.
That's true.
He's getting a little loose, right? He's getting a little loose, and I think it's going to take this fight with Pacquiao to really teach him a lesson, to show him Pacquiao's a 30-year veteran in the game. You know what I mean? And you got this kid who's only been he's active 3 years as a pro, I believe. He's got a good record, but he's not fighting the who's of boxing.
Hey man, there's a lot of tricks and trades inside that ring. A lot of people don't know. And when you're that green, it can cost you.
Yeah.
It can cost you. When you dealing with bet in that ring, man, you talking about inches, makes a huge difference in almost a foot. Upstairs and downstairs, you're talking about. I can take my foot and move it 1 inch, and it's going to get me almost 4 inches of reach on my hand. A lot of younger fighters don't know that because they ain't had that experience. They ain't been in there with enough guys. In fact, they might not even have enough international experience. You might have enough experience in your city, your state, maybe even your country. But heavyweight international is a whole other boxing. It's a whole other world of punching.
Way different.
Your punches are different. Your timing is off. It's just different. The movements are different. If you go into a house, if you go into a home every day and you see people walking normal every day, and you go to another country and you see, wow, why are they walking different? Why are they dancing different? Why are they eating something different? Everything is different. If you would never know that if you don't experience it.
Right. Same in the ring. That's it.
And I think he biting off more than he can handle.
Me, you know what? Me too. Me too. There's way better fights he could have signed up for, man. There's way better fights he could have signed up for. I think this is a big mistake, but I think it's a mistake that is gonna ground him again and put him on the right track and stop his cockiness, man.
Do
Because
you
he's getting
think
a
that was
little.
a bigger mistake than McGregor?
Yo, McGregor made a huge mistake, buddy. Huge. McGregor taking that fight and losing to Poirier has lost him probably about $50 million in a purse for a $5 million fight. Like, he was offered what, $10 million to fight Jake Paul. Jake Paul says his promotion company only wants to offer him 10 grand now for the same fight.
Yeah, I heard that.
Right? Like, so like, he did something stupid, man. And then the Pacquiao, that would have been huge. And he wanted to rematch Mayweather, but Mayweather's got too much money making with this Logan Paul fight, which is hilarious, man. Like,
it is.
Logan Paul's getting what, 200 grand to fight Mayweather for 50 million bucks? Kid, you're gonna die. You're gonna die. You're good. Yo, Logan Paul, listen to me. You are going to die in the ring, brother. You're going to die. Yo, man, you have 2 fights. You're gonna get in the ring with a man who's 50-0. On his worst day, he's still gonna whoop your butt, man.
It's gonna be ugly. It's gonna be ugly. But he's gonna give his best shot.
Yeah.
He's training hard. I give him equal effort.
Oh yeah, no, me too. Those Logan brothers, as much as it's a joke for boxing, like what they're doing to it,
he's taking
it really,
serious.
They are taking it serious, and the best part about it is it's opening up boxing to a whole younger generation of fans, just because of their YouTube following, right? Like, they all got 20 million followers and that kind of stuff. The minute these kids get in the ring, you got 6 and 7-year-olds who know who these fighters are. They know who's, hey, the pay-per-view's on with this and this. It's opening up a whole new generation to boxing, which I think is amazing for the sport of boxing.
We've got a question coming in here, actually, guys. We've got in the comments section here, we've got a question coming in for the champ. Do you remember your first fight, and do you have any plans for your last fight? Any idea when you're hanging up the gloves?
I thought they was hung up already.
I'm just that was the question that came in. You're not going back for any of these Tyson Pillow fights? They can't get you back to the ring?
Hey, listen, I'm open to one though. I can tell you that.
There you go. So you haven't hung them up yet. You're just not wearing them at the moment.
Listen, a fighter never truly hangs him up until he's in the ground.
All right, let's start with the first part of that then. The first part of that question that came in was, do you remember your first fight?
The Cliff Waterford, we talked about it. Yep, sure do. In New Jersey. I talked about being in the dressing room with Oscar De La Hoya that fight. I don't know who he fought, but it was a good fight.
No, that's your first pro fight. What about your first time you stepped in the ring? First amateur.
You had a huge amateur career though, didn't you? Like 200.
I remember the first time I stepped in the ring. Yeah, I got my ass kicked.
That's what.
No, true story. I was good, but my coach put me there with a kid that probably was like had 30 fights or something. He didn't kick my butt. But he knocked me down. I was only 11 years old, 12 years old. And I can remember, I never forget him. His name was Mike Brittingham from New Jersey. We was in Philadelphia.
Yeah, you never forget the first time you get put on your butt, man.
Never.
No. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you're playing football, hockey, baseball, boxing, kickboxing, kayaking. The minute you go down the first time, you remember that crap, man, for life. And honestly, I don't believe you'll hang up your gloves until you're no longer on the world, man. And once a fighter, always a fighter.
If Pacquiao, Morales, they get some sense, we can maybe do something.
Yo, let's get that fight going on, man. I'm down for that. Yeah, I want to see the fight that should have happened. I want to see the fight that should have happened.
And I want to do it. Okay, come on, let's go. We're gonna start a coalition for that
fight. We'll do it. We'll get an online petition going. Yo, King Raheem versus Pacquiao should have happened already. Stop ducking and dodging. That's it. Yo, you calling him out here right now.
Let's go to the bank.
That's it. Throw some money my way, right?
You already know. Listen, we're gonna break bread. Everybody gonna get 10%.
Yeah,
we're gonna get paid.
Hey, I'm cool with 5, man, because I know that'll be a big purse anyway.
Dang.
Oh, how about we do it?
4-ounce gloves.
Yeah, man, 4-ounce gloves.
What?
Yeah, man.
We
Hey,
might have to
hey.
go bare knuckle then. We might as well go bare knuckle.
Well, no. You want to protect him so you can go a couple of rounds.
No, because guess what? I got a big head. I'm gonna duck like this from here right there. Break his hand. I'm gonna punch right there. That's gonna break his hand. I know not to punch the head. You gonna punch hair. I already know. See, that's a vet move. They don't know that.
Yeah, that's old school bare knuckle boxing move, man. You tilt
You
the
know
head
it.
forward. That's where the chin tuck was invented.
Yeah.
Why don't you do that again one more time? You got a
MMA
chin in there?
gloves.
Yeah. Well, there's a chin somewhere under here.
Yeah. Look like you turtled, like your whole head disappeared in there for a moment. It was good.
Trust me, man. I know how to keep them shoulders up, protect my jaw. Don't worry. Don't worry. I've been getting into fights for years. Just not enough in the ring.
But your thought process behind 4-ounce gloves, Mike, is
Yeah, man. Honestly, my thought. Yeah. Hey.
go for
Yeah.
it.
Go for it. You tell him, Graham.
Well, Mike's been saying on his show the reason he likes 4-ounce gloves is because he likes to see the fighters decide who's going to be the winner, not let the judges decide who's going to be the winner, but let the fighters decide. And so reducing the weight of the gloves he thought was a good idea, so that you'd therefore decide it either by knockout or definitively decide it by winning the fight in the ring, as opposed to going the distance and allowing the decision to remain outside the hands of the actual fighters. That's
So
his
what
rationale.
happening was they used to use 6-ounce gloves, but people started dying. They started causing too much damage. So they use 8-ounce gloves now. And even in the amateur, they use 12, even 10s. It became too dangerous. Now, if you go back and check the history, they started out with bare knuckle. Then they started wrapping them. Then they went to gloves. Now they use gloves. They use wraps under gloves. But once you start making them gloves smaller, what ended up happening with bare knuckle is your hand cannot take the pounding. Your hand gonna break before your head breaks.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm saying? Now, once you put 4-ounce gloves on, the brain is not gonna be able to take that much punishment. The brain won't. So what he's saying is 100% true. Somebody's not is gonna make a decision. They can't go no more. Or they won't go no more.
Yeah,
it's a fact. They was dying.
Every fight will have a knockout.
Yes, it'll be brutal.
Every
You
fight will
also
have a
have some
knockout,
short careers.
but shorter fights save lives. You're not going to go many rounds. Knockouts will happen in 1, 2, maybe 3 rounds, right?
There's some truth to that.
Less shots to the head, less damage in the long run, man. That's how I see it.
There's some truth to it.
I'd like to see it. I'd like to see maybe some 4-ounce gloves on. Like you're not going to have these guys in there banging 12 rounds out with 4-ounce gloves, man.
You'll never see it. You'll never see it.
No, never see it. But 1 or 2 rounds.
I wouldn't mind seeing it, but you'll never see it. Too many people already died behind it.
Well,
and
true.
6 ounce.
True.
That was 6 ounce.
True. Wow. And there was a fighter that just died 2019 as well after the fight.
It would definitely be more brutal. I mean, well, guess what? How many ounces of MMA gloves?
4 ounce. They're 4 ounce. Same thing.
Go. Same thing.
Yeah.
I put some in the morning and said, man, if I hit somebody with this, it's instant death. I felt it. I said, oh, can you imagine the difference between those and the boxing gloves? You got, this much patent.
Yeah.
And gauze.
Yeah. And your hands wrapped thick, too.
Yep.
Hands wrapped thick.
Chris,
you got any questions?
I was going to say something. Having said that, and having seen graphic, and you're still knocking out guys with gloves like this. Like, that's amazing. That's power.
It's an art.
Boxers with their hip movement can generate tons of pounds per square inch. That's the big thing.
Like, if you throw the punch correctly.
Yeah. If you throw.
For example, I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna give you an example. If I sit here and I throw a right hand, you see this is the left, this is the right. If I throw the right hand like this, as hard as I can, I'm not gonna generate no power. If you want to generate power with a right hand, you wanna take the position of a quarterback. You see the quarterback when he throw the ball, he don't throw like this with his shoulder square. He drop back. You see that? He drop that back and then he throws the ball. That's how you throw the right hand. Most people won't do that. They want to throw like this and they punch. But it's bad form. You're gonna get hit and no power, no speed. It's the art to it though. But it's comfortable. Most people will fight like that because it's comfortable. But it's wrong. Stomach exposed, face, because you square shoulders. Hair, you target.
Yeah, see, that's a big difference between boxing and like me doing my Muay Thai, right? Like everything is more
Square,
square.
you're using your knee though.
Yeah, yeah. See, you stand more shoulder square, but you stand hip straight, right? It's a way different stance. It's a lot different,
I got you. I got
right?
you.
Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to maximize your kick, right? And the length of the kick
Torque
and how
from
much you
the
can bring it
from the
around.
hip.
So you stand more straight. You stand more straight so that when the kick comes up and is at the peak of its power, it's already connected to the body. I mean, it increases your pounds per square inch on how much you can kick.
Facts.
Same kind of
Facts.
thing. Same kind of thing like when you box. When you don't throw your shit back and you come in, same thing as the leg.
Facts. Facts.
So, Christian, what,
Yeah,
what
buddy.
question were you asking? What question you were asking the champ here about the Olympics? Because you're a highly decorated Olympic fighter as well, right? Like you've had a ton of Olympic fights
I don't know about it. I had a ton of international fights. I
or
don't know about
international
no
fights.
Olympic
Yeah, and
fights.
you never amateur on the Olympic level.
Yeah, I was in the Olympics in
Oh,
'96.
96. Yeah.
Right?
That was for me, Eric Morrell, Floyd Mayweather. Dang.
Wow.
Fernando Vargas, David Reed, Terrence Carlton,
Who's who of
Antonio
who's?
Tarver, Nate Jones, Lawrence Claybay, Albert Gardado. I don't think I missed nobody. Eric Morrell, I'm sorry, Eric Morrell, 112. I was 119. Floyd Mayweather was 125. Terrence Carlton was 132. 139 was David Diaz. 147 was Fernando Vargas.
Holy crow.
156, who's that? David Reed. 65 was Roshad Wells. 78 was Antonio Tarver. Heavyweight was Nate Jones. Super heavyweight was Lawrence Claybay.
Oh wow. Wow. Now that's a team right there, eh?
Yeah, we was banging, man.
It
was fun.
You just leaving bodies in your wake, man. That's
It
what
was
you were
fun,
doing.
man. It was fun.
That was wow.
And yet Zav Judah on the bench.
Yep. Zab was
He was an
there.
alternate for that though, for '96. Yeah.
Wow, that's amazing. Anybody got? Go ahead, Christian.
Well, I was just going to say we are starting to run an Olympic kind of segment during the day on the show. At some point, getting closer to the Olympics, we'd love to have you on there as well, King, just to maybe walk us through what it's like living in the Olympic Village for the tournament. Talk about things like what it's like to keep weight through a 10-day tournament and stuff like that. We've got
that's one of the weirdest experiences of my life, being in an Olympic Village. When you go inside the cafeteria, you see so many international foods. It was the first place I ever had a white girl tell me that she was African. I wasn't. She was from South Africa. She said, "You're not African. I'm African. You're American." I said, "What? I think I'm African. I'm African American." "No, you're not African American. You're American. I'm African. But you white. I'm from South Africa." I was so confused. I said, "Okay." True story, man. She just stole my heritage and shit. Like, yo, that ain't you, that's me. I was confused. Like, okay, wait, let me think about this. She was cute though.
Speaking of women, are you training any female boxers right now?
No.
Any plans on maybe bringing a woman under your tutelage?
I would definitely do it, but I don't have access to them, or they don't have access to me.
You have any favorite female fighters right now?
Clarissa Shields, for sure.
Right, highly decorated Olympian.
Sensei. Man, I can't remember her name. It's quite a few. Man, there's some good fighters out there, man. There's some good fighters, some good female fighters. Quite a few of them. Golden Roger, where Golden Roger at, man? I thought he was coming on.
No, he wants to know who you would fight now in South Africa.
Ali Funiga. What kind of question is that? That was a bait question. That was a bait question, man. Hey, where Roger Cargill at, man? He playing games. He hiding. Golden asked that question. Yeah, we want Funiga. in South Africa.
He
Hey,
says
yo, quick.
he has
He
the
has the
link.
link.
He says he has
Yeah,
the
why he
link.
want to hide behind that keyboard? Tell him to show his face and ask these questions. What he doing? He's scared, huh? He want to tell somebody else to do the dirty work.
That's
Out of
it.
all questions, he want to ask about that one, huh? And then hide. Ask me want to go to South Africa. Ask that.
Yeah. Shout out to Golden watching at home.
He's watching. Yes, sir, he says.
Oh, he watching. Yeah, he watching. So what's up, fellas, man? What's new?
Well, honestly, I'm just waiting for some of these fights coming up, man.
Jessica McCaskill.
Who the hottest fighter in Canada?
Other than Amanda Golly?
Amanda Golly's pretty good.
Is she?
Yeah, she's pretty
No
good.
amateurs? No amateurs?
I don't know. It's hard to keep up on the amateur scene here. There's not really.
Scarlett Delgado?
Yeah, well, Scarlett Delgado's another female fighter out of Canada.
We're looking forward right now to the Olympic qualifier for the Americas, and we're looking to see some not only what's happening here, but south of the border as well. So that's going to be coming up, I think, in April.
You serious?
Mandy Bujold?
Yeah. Well, because the qualifiers all got postponed due to COVID-19, so they only got half of the European tournament done, so they have to do the second half of that in June. In April. In May is the European as the second half of the. Let me try this again in English. European qualifier, second half is happening in April in London. In May is supposed to be the America's qualifier, and June is the world qualifier now. July, the Olympics. So they haven't set the actual card yet for the Olympics. So there's actually a lot of amateur boxing to come over the next couple of months here.
A lot to look forward to.
Well, especially since they were saying, as recently as 2 days ago, we really weren't sure that there was going to be an Olympic Games. So that was really up in the air. They just got that back as of yesterday. They re-announced that they are committed to moving forward. So looking forward to some stuff. Roger, good to have you, mate.
Good to have you.
Oh, is that Golden?
Yeah,
Golden, what's up, buddy?
Champ.
What's going on, man? I'm trying to figure out this camera here.
Hey, Roger, how you doing, champ? We couldn't wait to have you on. Why don't you tell us about your first knockout, man? How did it feel when you was in the ring, champ? Talk to us.
My first
Mikey's gunning for your job.
Yeah, yo, champ, tell us, champ.
Yeah, no, my first knockout was in Atlanta, Georgia. My first pro knockout against ex-NFL football player named Larry Simmons. He's 6'8". I think he was a defensive tackle. This is 2004 in Atlanta, Georgia.
That's a big dude.
Yeah, it was a big boy, man.
Show us your shoe shine. What you hit him with? Let's stand up. Show us. Let me see. Do the move. Let's see.
Short,
okay.
slip right there. Boom. Nice and short, right to the body.
Yo, like ride a bike, eh, Raj?
Yeah.
Never forget, man. Never forget. Like ride a bike. You've been throwing those things in your sleep.
Man. So what's going on? Are you taking that fight in South Africa?
Are you asking me?
Yeah.
Do I need to answer that?
Well, he asked you behind the keyboard.
I'm trying to figure out how
I don't want to fight anybody. Okay. You understand that?
That's it. That's it.
You can hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, we want Ali Funika, champ. You know that?
That's right. So, well, what date do you think that would be exactly?
After this COVID calm down.
Right. So
yeah,
what
borders make it financially comfortable for everybody. Then we're gonna do it.
Mm-hmm.
Sell tickets, you know what I mean?
Yeah, send me some tickets for that fight. I'm definitely coming to that.
Oh, you already know it. You VIP. Now you the bodyguard. What you talking about?
Yo, I'm down. I'm down, brother. I'm down.
Man from here on out.
Down, yo. I'll be swing kicking people left and right. Don't worry.
That's what we need.
Throw some knees and elbows, man.
You got to make it happen.
Yeah, man. So what is like the streaming like or the bubbles are like for boxing right now? I know PBC has one. Top Rank has one in California. Is there anything going on in the East Coast with
Well,
the
they was
streaming
tough,
aspect?
but they're not that bad now. You know, my little brother just was in a bubble. He said it wasn't that bad with Stefan Fulton. You know, just won that world title on Showtime.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So he said it wasn't that bad down there. You know, he said, well, no, it was. I'm sorry, if you're not prepared. But that might have been his second time in there. So he told me that when he was in there, he couldn't take the fighter out before weigh-in to get food and none of that. You couldn't go nowhere. So he said he went to the store and bought a hot plate and was actually cooking meals for him in the hotel room.
Oh, wow.
They don't let you leave out the room and go nowhere. They don't let you do none of that because they don't want you to end up giving it to your opponent or the referee in the ring.
Oh.
Wow, that's a tight bubble, man. That's
Yeah, it
a
is, man.
serious
That's a
tight
tough
bubble.
situation to be in.
That's gonna play hard on the mentality too of you know, if you're getting in that ring, man. It's gonna be rough, right?
Well, things should get better soon. You know, with this COVID, things should clear up pretty soon, man. They got these things just, you know, these vaccinations and if anybody need one, call me. I got them on sale 2 for 1.
You've been dipping south into Florida for those vaccines?
No, he's got the underground pipeline coming straight in.
Crazy.
2 for 1 deal.
Florida was a free for all for a bit there with the vaccines. So, wondering if you're raiding south of the Panhandle there.
Wow.
Sell that COVID, get that money, man.
Yeah, that's where the money at. Rod, you supposed to came up with a deal already, man. What happened?
Man, COVID.
Wow.
COVID's done everything, man.
COVID, bro.
It's done everything.
Yeah. Well, it'll change soon. We got to keep fighting, though. It's going to change.
That's it. So you've been training at home then, right, Raheem? You've been training at your house and no gym, right? So you're training just strictly at home right now?
Me or Raj?
Both of you.
Oh,
Raj
Raj,
is training?
you know Raj.
Me?
Huh?
Raj is training.
I've been training.
It was to you, King. It was to you, King. But yo, Raj, you want to answer?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
I want to see. Raj, come on. Let me see. Go like this, Raj. Let's see your muscles. Come on.
Man, I'm home.
Let's see a six-pack. Come on. Let me see. Come on.
I got a 6-pack of Heineken.
Oh, man, Chad.
Yo, he gets by on those lovely dimples of his.
Yo.
So do you have any questions? Do you have
Heineken.
any questions for the champ, Roger? Do you have any questions?
Yeah. Okay. So, what titles do you got? You got that on your belt around your waist is what? That's the
NABO.
The name. Okay, North American Boxing Association.
Yep.
And then where's your other one? NAB. So that's
show and tell time.
The small one. The
Nice.
small one.
No, that's a big one actually. The NABA.
That was cute.
The
That's
one
the
behind,
A and the O.
and the one behind is WBC featherweight. Yeah.
Yeah, man.
No, it's not featherweight. That was lightweight. This is featherweight. This is lightweight.
Yeah, he's got too many, man. Yo, haven't you read the resume already?
No, that's featherweight.
That's why they call him the King, man.
Thank you. Tell him again, Chad.
He's got all that gold, yo. He's got all that gold. That's why they call him the King.
Tell him again. You see it, Chad. You see
it.
Right.
Yo. Yo.
We the champ, man. We the champ.
That's right.
That's it. Yo, Raj, let's see yours, man. Come on.
That way.
No, man, it's all about knuckling up, guys. It's all about knuckling up.
Hey, let me ask you this. Did you read the article? Bob Arum said Errol Spence didn't want to fight Terrence Crawford.
Yeah, I read something like that.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I believe it.
Why? You know why I might believe it? Because I've seen too many interviews with Terrence Crawford pressing him at the fight.
True.
And
It's true.
his conversation wasn't as confident. He was kind of like, we'll see. Now they tell my fight, and I'm like, and I thought Earl Spence, off of his last performance, the way he used that jab, man, it really let me know that he was a little smarter than I thought. I thought he was more of a brawler, and but I never seen him use that jab so sophisticated the way he did. And I said, just for that point alone, I thought, man, he might give Terrence Crawford some problems. Now, I think Terrence Crawford is too fast, and he might be a little too much for Earl Spence, but he get hit.
Yeah.
And he can't get hit by Earl Spence.
No, yeah.
Hey, I got good news for you, Zahir. The WBA welterweight titles has been relinquished by Pacquiao because Pacquiao's fighting lightweight.
Say it again.
The WBA has just been stripped from Pacquiao, welterweight, because he's gonna be fight 140, super lightweight against Ryan Garcia.
That's good. So let me ask you a question, respectfully. What that got to do with me?
I'm talking about you got the title up in the smoke. You know?
I'm saying, where the money at, Rod? I thought we was gonna get some money, man.
Oh my God, yo, you're killing me. Killing me.
Hey man, listen, I'm not nowhere in the picture. You got me hyped talking about I got something for you, champ. I'm like, oh, you do? You gotta fight.
Yo, Raj, get him those fights, man. He's down for it. Don't hype him.
What I'm saying?
Don't hype him. You get him all hyped up, and then you gotta let him sit in his house.
He's the hardest man to get a fight because he's like Benjamin Button. all them younger dudes know about him, and the older dudes don't want nothing with him. Like after the Eric Morales fight, he did himself no justice after the Eric Morales fight.
No,
and nobody no smoke.
Honestly,
smoke.
after he came out and dusted Morales, people were like, ooh, I don't know about that one.
No smoke.
Yeah. No. Yeah, I see that, man. It was kind of crap, man.
Yeah. You're beating to the punch. You're too quick. Even your jab step was lightning quick.
But do you know what it felt like, man? To that was one of the greatest moments of my life, man. Having the Staples Center all to myself. You talking about the dressing room, the Lakers dressing room, all to myself, and I'm like, wow, this is like a dream come true. To work so hard to get there. Now let me tell you something funny about that story. When I went to training camp, my manager, my promoter, I ain't gonna say no names, but they didn't give me a training camp. They didn't say, here, go get a training camp here. I'm gonna give you the best trainer. I'm gonna get the best nutritionist so you can be the best fighter. That didn't happen. So everything that I did on my own. The people that I hired, the things that I did on my own with no help from nobody, from no promoters. Now you gotta remember, I'm a young kid, man, that grew up in boxing. I didn't have a mom or dad to show me how to make weight, to show nutrition, to show me what contracts. I signed so many bad contracts. People say, damn, what happened to your career? Signing bad deals. Well, why did you sign a bad deal? Because I didn't get there by reading. I got there by writing. The only thing I read, when I signed the deal, I'm looking at the numbers. The numbers make sense. I understand. Do I want to fight for 3 years? Okay. But now when you start looking at them, the small print, and you start watching, oh yeah, you got 3 years, but you got an extended 2 years if you pull out of a fight, and I done pulled out 2. Now I'm fighting with them because now they told me they ain't got no fight for me, but you supposed to have one, but I didn't pull. I pulled out. And I make a long story short, man. I don't want to make this real long drawn out.
Yeah.
A lot of bad things. I mean, a lot of bad decisions from it. Now, how do I hold that against them? I don't.
Yeah,
you know why? I got fighters now. Don't worry about that. That was old. I'm gonna get mine back.
Oh, you keeping your camp secret. Eh? Keep that.
One thing for sure is this: as long as you win, they can't stop you.
True.
I listen. I done been to the mountaintop. When I was 11 years old, I was in Dublin, Ireland, fighting for the championships of the world. But when I was 10, I was in North Philadelphia, involved in a murder. A young kid. I done seen somebody die right before my eyes, but I didn't want to live in that life. So you know what I did? I went back to the gym, man, every day. I slept in that gym. I didn't even go to school. I went to the gym. And the next year, you know where I was at? Away from that poverty. I was in a whole other country. A whole other country fighting for the I didn't get out of my hood. I didn't get out of my city. I got out of the country. And then a year after that, I did it again. It was in London, England. I got people there that call me and say, hey, man, I remember you. We went to here together. We went there together. You know what I'm saying? So when you talk about boxing, man, it's a passion. And when you
Mhm.
ain't going to see too many people that's willing to dedicate their life to a sport like this, because it doesn't offer anything. It doesn't offer you health insurance. It doesn't offer you a 401k. It doesn't offer you anything. It doesn't offer your family anything. So why would you dedicate your entire life to a sport like that? Why?
Love, love, love of the game.
Because I didn't have nowhere else to go. I didn't know how to do nothing else. That was the only building that opened the door and said, if you can fight and you don't mind getting hit, come on. I said, yeah, I can fight, but I don't want to get hit. They show us, you know what I mean?
Yo,
So when
Raj.
I was in there, anybody you
Yo.
see in the boxing gym, they in there because they fighting for something. They're not in the gym to have fun. It's not basketball.
Yeah,
They in there because they
Golden,
fighting for something eternally.
yeah.
Definitely.
It's about proving it to yourself and fighting the will. You know, with me is just proving that you could overcome any obstacle. You know what I mean? Like pretty much, like if you see an opponent, it's like okay, boxing is spiritual, mental, and physical. But if you hit the spiritual level, it becomes a point where it's you against there is no opponent. Like like Bruce Lee, it's like you're flowing, like you're in the zone, and when you
Yes.
get to that point, it's a beautiful thing when you have no opponent. You know what I mean? That's the beauty behind boxing. Hit, not be hit. Sweet science.
Well, that's 100% true because the art and science of boxing is to hit and not be hit. So what I teach my fighters is we don't slip and duck punches. We avoid the punches. We avoid
Hmm.
the energy. I
Yeah,
should be able to look at you. I don't look at your hands. The hands are quicker than the eyes. But I'm looking at your shoulders and I can discern your movement by your eyes. The
hmm,
eyes are the window to the soul. So when I'm in
yeah,
the ring with you, I'm looking down, I'm looking at your soul, and your eyes are gonna tell me what you're gonna do. So you should be able to feel his movement when he do. Now the only way to do that and have that and exercise that to be good at it is you have to meditate. You have to pray. It's a lot of things that come with that spiritual exercise. And then you be understanding why it's so easy to make the right decision sometimes in the ring when you have to think fast. It's because
right.
you already played it out in your mind. You thought about it. You
Yeah,
manifested it. You
it's
understand
like
what I'm saying? You
whatever
affirmed it. You confirmed it.
you
You understand what I'm
confirmed
coming
it.
from?
Yeah, it's like
Then when you get in the ring, you be able to move it. If you go watch your fight right now, and when I watch my boxing fight, it's like the first time he's seeing it. I never seen it. I don't remember none of that because
right.
everything happens so fast. So when I'm watching a fight, I don't look at that and say, I remember this. No, it's maybe one or two things I can remember. But as I'm watching it, it's like I'm watching it just like you watch it. I don't remember none of that because it happened too fast.
Yeah, it's
You
like
gotta think fast in that ring. I don't look at him and say, "Oh, he's throwing a jab. After he throw that jab, I'm gonna hit him with this jab, and then I'm gonna duck." And it happens just like that. No, 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 no.
no,
I'm gonna counter his jab, and I go to counter his jab, and he faked the jab and threw the right hand. And that quick second, I had to slip and throw the left hook. I don't remember that.
no. You
Because
see,
now it's 45 more minutes of fighting. 30 more minutes of fighting. That happened just like that.
And that's a
yeah,
hell of a lot more punches.
yeah. Hey,
And I didn't even mention the ones I got hit with.
it's the most weirdest feeling because it's so slow but so fast at the same time. I mean, anyone could say they could fight, but when the bright lights go on and you have the people, the crowd there, and you got the smoke sometimes in the arena, and then when you get underneath those big bright lights, it's like a sauna. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's like when you're in there, it depends upon the canvas too. Like some people, like I like to bounce. Sometimes you have those and
Roger, how old are you? Roger, how old are you?
too old, man.
So when those lights you talking about, they use those in the 60s. They don't use them lights no more.
Yeah, yeah.
They
Well,
use
I
blue
mean,
lights now. The light you now, it doesn't. It's just, now you know I'm talking bull crap.
no, no, no. So like like so pretty much whatever you do in the darkness will come to light. You know what I'm saying? So you know, there's certain rings that are bouncy. There's certain rings that are like some like quicksand.
That's
You know,
true. That's true. That's true. That's
that's
true.
what I'm saying. So
Yo,
like,
You're right,
bouncy
Chen.
rings
You're
are
right,
good for when
Chen.
you're throwing swing kicks.
huh?
Bouncy rings are good when you're throwing swing kicks. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, I could tell, but it sucks when you're in a training camp and you're in a bouncy ring, and then all of a sudden you're in a quicksand ring in a fight. So you
Take your
gotta
legs
learn how.
from you.
So
Take your legs from you.
yeah, yeah. So you gotta adjust. And sometimes when you're the B-side fighter, because he was an A-side fighter, I was a B-side fighter, they set you up like that. So there's a lot of things for their fighter. They give the fighter, the bouncy ring and give the B-side, no, they give the B-side the bouncy ring to train at training camp. And then while their fighter, the A-side, is fighting in the quicksand ring, like sparring there, he's used to it. So if I go in there, I'm just like, whoa, wait a second here. It's not bouncy. So you got to adapt,
You had to go through that?
Yeah, I did. I've been through a lot. The dark side of boxing. Stay tuned.
So hold on, Rod.
Coming soon.
So
The dark side of boxing, next episode.
Huh? Let me get this clear. You was in a quicksand ring, but you trained in the bouncy ring.
Yeah.
Dang.
That was worse.
It was hard.
What? I was like, how come I'm not bouncing around?
You know what? Maybe you guys enlighten some of our viewers. Maybe explain what a quicksand ring is.
The quicksand ring is pretty much a ring that has no springs. It's a ring. The canvas is thick. The sponge is very thick. And
you step in and you sink down instead of bouncing back up.
Yeah, it doesn't. The bouncy one is like okay, you see it's like a bed. You know those therapeutic beds where you sink in them. Well,
yeah,
the one, another bed, you can bounce off of it. It's
I like to use those ones for other things.
Yeah.
Puts a little bit more thrust in your game, yo.
Yeah, man. But whatever you do in the darkness will come to light, man. So that's why you gotta train hard, eat right, sleep right, because it will show. And when those bright lights go on, yeah, man. And then there's sometimes there's gym fighters and then there's Showtime fighters. I know that there's some boxers. I ever bumped into these boxers don't train, like they train hard, but they spar like shit.
Oh!
Yeah. But when they fight, it's like, what the hell?
Yo, where Ray at, man? Where Ray Bowler at, man?
Where you at?
Big
That's
Ray.
the chant. Oh, you got to come on. That's the chant.
Yeah, man.
That's the chant, man. I hope he come on, man. I hope he come on.
Oh, Big Ray. Where is Big Ray?
Yeah.
He's watching.
Oh,
He's
he
watching.
left. I think he left. He was on though.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming. He's coming. He's coming. The champ is here. The champ is here.
Damn.
Big Ray. Maybe he's gonna get out his belts and you guys can do a little show off.
Yeah, you guys got all titles, man. I didn't reach that far.
Get out and start, dance around with your titles, man.
You know what? I gotta stand right here.
Big Ray.
Big Ray. The champ is here.
The champ is
here.
The champ.
How are y'all doing?
Good. How are you?
All's good. All's good. Look at you. Look at you. Huh? I got you.
Good to see you, champ.
I got you.
Yeah.
How y'all keeping?
The champ is here.
Oh,
Hold on.
Roger left. What Roger done?
my show's gonna be good.
Ray, so talk to us, man. Talk to us about your first fight, man. How was it?
My first fight?
Yes.
Yeah. Let's hear the first fight, Ray.
My first pro fight?
Amateur, and then pro.
First amateur fights here.
Oh dear God! My first amateur fight, 1995, June 19th. I had been training for about 2 months, and in hindsight, I knew how to throw. No, I knew how to push out a jab, but I didn't know how to put footwork behind it. I knew how to push out a cross, but I didn't know how to pivot. Nothing called anything from waist down. That was it. And then when it came to defense, cover up. That's all I knew. So I walked into this fight thinking that I looked at crossed the ring. I saw this guy walking in, and I'm just like, oh man, this is gonna be a homicide. And I waited, the bell rang. All right. I had a couple of street fights, the average tussle. I threw a punch, I threw another punch. I gave him a black eye. I busted his nose. It's 2-minute rounds. It was supposed to be 3 2-minute rounds. Oh yeah, that's the other thing. I'd never sparred before, so I didn't even know anything called pacing. I just went after him, and the first round was done. I beat him up pretty good. I was completely spent. I had nothing left. 1 minute is not a whole lot of time to catch your breath.
No, it's not.
And then the second round came out, and his strategy was simply to parry my jab and come back with a jab. And my whole house of cards came crumbling down. I was bewildered. I was confused. I didn't understand how. I couldn't get to this guy. And I got tired beyond belief. I was not hurt. I was just beyond tired. The ref stops the fight, gives me a standing 8 count. I'm in the corner. Okay. She says, "You want to continue?" I said, "Yes." She said, "Step out of the corner." I said, "Okay." "Put your hands up." I put my hands up. She goes, "Box." I took a step back. I put my hands on the ropes. She called the fight off. I said, "All right."
Oh.
And that was my first fight.
Wow.
Then my second, third, and fourth. My second fight was 2 months later at the provincial championships for the novices, where I fought a guy and I beat him by a narrow margin of 52 to 18. And then the next two fights, I knocked the guys out within a minute of the first round.
Oh,
with that big heavy hands.
I'd begun.
Well, you figured out in that first fight that anything after the first minute, the tank was empty anyway. So if you knock them out in the first minute,
precisely,
problem solved.
Precisely, you got to take the judges out of the equation, the ref out of the equation. 1 minute. Actually, the next fight after that, it was Olympic year, and I wanted to go to those games in '96. So to qualify, you had to win the nationals in '95, and but I had to go to open class. I didn't know what open class means. Open season, eh? Open. That's what it is. So I went. I had 4 fights, and I got upgraded because I did so well in the novices. Because open classes, you have to have 10 fights or more. Mm-hmm. I get there. My first fight is against a guy by the name of Kevin Anderson. If I knew what this guy was, I would have crapped myself. All I saw was this dumpy fat guy who I was super heavyweight, and super heavyweight at the time was anything over 201 pounds.
Wow.
That's a big gap.
Yeah.
That's a big gap.
It was open class.
Yeah.
He came in. He wanted to fight at heavyweight. Thought he was going to make heavyweight, so he had to be under 201. He came in at 211, and he just said, "Oh well." And I just saw this short, fat guy. I'm like, "Oh, this is going to be easy pickings." And it so happens that again, it was the luckiest punch of all punches. First round, I'm doing God knows what, and then all of a sudden, I just saw this opening. He stepped to my left, and I poked him with my right hand. He went sailing through the second and third ropes onto the computer table. And then that's when my reputation was born.
So how did you get the nickname Mount Kilimanjaro?
Oh, that was when I turned pro.
Because I've always heard Big Ray. I've heard, Yeah, that's been the whole thing. It's always been Big Ray, but I stumbled upon the Mount Kilimanjaro. I'd love to hear this story.
Mount Kilimanjaro was I wanted to aspire to great heights. I was going to be I wanted to be a champion as a pro. And what is the biggest mountain in Africa? Kilimanjaro. So
that's it, eh?
Yep.
Okay.
What happened to Zahir?
Zahir, I think he's having technical camera difficulties.
Oh. Okay.
Oh, it's almost time for the scoop.
Well, we've had him for an hour and change. Last time before the camera died on us about 10 minutes in, so that's good.
So what are we looking for? What am I going to be hearing tonight on the scoop, Big Ray?
Tonight is my dear friend, Mr. Troy Amos Ross.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, Troy the Boss Ross.
Troy the Boss Ross. Okay.
Yeah. It should be good.
Troy the Boss. I'm gonna check that out. What's up, Cam?
You can check that out right at 8:30 on the scoop with Big Ray.
There you go.
Actually, I gotta take this call that came in.
Yeah.
That's a scoop.
We'll see you at 8:30, Ray.
All right.
See you later.
Have a good one, Ray.
On that note, I guess we're getting to that time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll save our usual boxing tidbits in history for the next panel, I think, this week.
Great show, guys. Roger, thanks for coming on.
No
Zahir, if you're watching, thank you again for coming on. Yeah, man. Fans,
Chris Bird,
I know you love it.
Layman Brewster, Chris Bird, Hakeem Rockman, all those guys coming on.
Sounds good, man. Fight fans, you heard that here on the panel, man. Remember, jab that like, hook, subscribe, and knock out those comments. We'll see you next Friday.
Have a good night, guys.